unseat. She had no children, so went to the next of kin. That's how this family, Prince Charles of Block, it actually was Prince Charles's father first, King Edward, was very vulgar and inappropriate. Prince Charles, from becoming king, Fergie, the mom, must have frozen herself to keep herself from dying. And trying her best to outlive him so that he would die first, because she would never allow and would never let the sun shine upon her grave and have her son as king, because he was an idiot. And that's what she could say in the conversation. Fact or fiction, you decide. So that hatred towards the blacks continues. Black president could not get into the office. They had to write amendments and create amendments to put Washington into power. So they put him into power. Because not only was he a general, he was also the Secretary of Defense. And according to the chain of command, the Secretary of Defense becomes president when the four positions above him are vacant. And the four positions above him were vacant. That's how he became president without being sworn in. Sure, they had some type of a ceremony, but there was no Chief Justice to do it. They had some type of a saying, okay, well, you got it. You're number 4. You go ahead and do it. So for those that don't know, it's president, vice president, the Speaker of the House, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State. What comes after that? Chief of Staff. And I forget what comes after that. But it's a total of 12. And we've never gotten that far down in the history of whatever you call the country. It's never gotten that far. So eventually it goes all the way down to senator, minority leader, and things like that. But it did not have all those positions back then, because the country was much smaller, and most of those people had burned up in the fire. So the underlings were burned up, as well as the overlings were burned up, which left a couple of middle people left alive. And that's how Washington got into the seat. Was it done on purpose? I don't think so. I don't think Washington conspired to kill the president, but his face is on a dollar bill, which makes him an enemy of the country. Everybody whose face is on a dollar bill was considered an enemy to the country, or enemy of the state, if you want to call it that. It was a crime to be a nigger lover, kidnapping, sleeping with slaves, having sex with slaves, especially being a white man. So the $2 bill, there's a president, can't think of his name right now, the name just said, ooh, the name of the guy who, Jefferson, thank you. You got it before I asked you the question. Thomas Jefferson was on a $2 bill because he was considered an enemy of the state, sleeping with his slave, having adultery, being a married man, and sleeping with a slave. They later stopped the circulation of the $2 bill because not only is he the author of the Declaration of Independence and one of the forefathers for the Bill of Rights, it was thought that he was acting in the best interest of the country, because those things were written after the fall of the first House of Congress. So Google first and second House of Congress, and you'll probably see pictures of what it looked like when they set it on fire and moved from Virginia to Washington, D.C. The Congress was not originally in Washington, D.C., the district. It was actually in Virginia. And all presidents, most of the time, from the North or from Virginia. Most of the southern state presidents, very rare. I wasn't born in the past, but I know Clinton was a southern president, and it was very rare. No, I take that back. They try to get the ones from the original slave states, where the slaves were not mistreated, such as Texas, Arkansas, Florida, Virginia, et cetera, Pennsylvania. They try to get them from those areas. So most of the presidents that are elected is where they come from. When it comes to, or if they're up north, it's automatically a shoe-in. So when it comes to south, they try to pull from those four states, like Truman up north, Roosevelt up north, Bush, Texas, both up. Obama was from Chicago. Trump was up from New York. Biden from Delaware. So they try to get them from those places. Ross Perot from Mississippi. So of course you couldn't have him. Is that they are still a racist area. And then you move from Mississippi to Louisiana, still not eligible because they don't want no president from that state either. So it might look like they didn't want him because he was a billionaire, but they didn't want him because of the state that he was from. They didn't want to bring in that bad mojo. So I'll continue the story on the next go-round when we have some more fact or fiction. But for now, you decide. Was all of it fact? Was all of it fiction? Was some of it fact? Was some of it fiction? That's the calamity that we find ourselves upon, my friends, when you listen to the story and decide if it's fact or fiction. Bum, bum, bum. So, it's over to you, Green.
Okay. You need an ass whooping when?
Well, that's all you, because you already know you need an ass whooping.
Oh, God. I'm tired of whipping people's asses.
You need an ass whipping when
when
you bring a man to your husband's house. You got a whole toilet paper sheet full of ass whippings. You need an ass whipping.
Yes. And
when you put your foot down and nothing and it don't work, we know you need an ass whipping. You need an ass whipping when it's time to do the show and you don't have the power generated, where the snowstorm coming and costing everybody money. People then sat up to get ready for something, and then the show is off because you thought I was supposed to do it. I'm not the engineer, so you need an ass whipping. You need an ass whipping when Miss Brooks tells you what the segment is going to be, and then you come back and ask me what the segment is. She just told you what it was. I don't know what's on the schedule until the show starts. I don't put the schedule up there. I don't even know who the guest is for the hot seat that y'all got. You have to tell me so I can tell Green, and then Green goes and looks it up. Or I'll find it on the schedule when you put it up there. Oh, Jack Nicholson. Okay. And I can go Google it. You know you need an ass whipping when you're so angry with President Trump that you make up these lies and stories and want everybody to believe what you believe. When you edited the recording to make it fit your agenda. You know you need an ass whipping when you're a black man in America and you come up to me and tell me I'm a Trump supporter and Trump is a racist. I'm going to keep you finish for the dot on that. Even if President Trump was a racist, can you tell me any president we've had that was not a racist? And don't sit here and tell me Obama wasn't a racist. Obama did more for the white man than he ever did for a black man in America. And I've never seen that before. Movement. All of our white people in education. I thought he would be the first president to get rid of the black right to vote. He just extended it like everybody else does. Nobody never repeals it. Like we still need permission to vote. And they only push it for 5 years or 6 years. Trump pushed it for a whole 20 years. So nobody would have to ever worry about it for 5 presidential terms. Next president might come along and do it for 1 year. Push it along for 1 year. You know you need to ask with him when you go to court under charges of lewd conduct with a minor and tell the judge, it wasn't me, Your Honor. She came on to me. Even if a child comes on to you, how did your pants come down? Give me a break. I've seen cases where the grandfather and granddaughter were having sex. And the grandfather told Joe Brown, I think it was Joe Brown, one of the TV judges, he was watching TV. She came in his room, seductive and naked. He was trying to get away. I don't know if you're trying to get away with the drawers down, pop up. It just tells me that we're moving closer and closer to the day of the rapture. And there's probably only 4 or 5 people going. Got lies on the tip of their tongue, just waiting to spew. Right there while you're in the middle of having sex, the Lord will appear. Ooh. Oh, that's not what you think, Jesus. I was trying to help with the constipation, and I didn't have no medication, and I heard if you do this, you open the hole up so they can poop. I was trying to help them to poop, Jesus. How could you boldly tell such a lie? And how would you feel trying to come up with that kind of a lie?